Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Openlands 2018 Annual Luncheon. I'm Mark Harris, Vice Chair of the Openlands Board of Directors. Thank you all for being with us today and for supporting our work. In order to keep on a tight schedule, we're going to make this a working lunch, so please start your salads so we can keep the program moving. We're very fortunate to have many prominent business, government, and civic leaders from our region with us here today. We wish we could acknowledge all of you individually, but please know that we truly appreciate your support and endorsement of Openlands. Nature has been important to me throughout my life. I've spent a lot of time on the rivers and hiking trails of the region and know firsthand how important it is for everyone to have access to parks and preserves close to where they live, wherever they live in the Chicago region. Thanks to Openlands, I've participated in river cleanups with local residents on the Little Calumet near Dixmoor, Harvey, and South Holland. With Openlands' help, I've seen joy on the faces of families when they get out on the water in a canoe in Beaubien Woods on 130th near Hegwish and Altgeld Gardens, or on the Chicago River at Ping Tom Park in Chinatown. Thanks to Openlands water trail maps, I've floated on Salt Creek under 8 lanes of the Tri-State Tollway on the border between DuPage and Cook counties. And I've seen the beauty and promise of Hackmatack National Wildlife Refuge while paddling on a restored Nippersink Creek in McHenry County. Openlands believes that open spaces of our region must be accessible to everyone. And because of your support, Openlands helps to make that possible. For these reasons and many more, I'm proud to serve on the Openlands Board of Directors. My fellow board members share that pride, and I'd like to ask them now to stand and be recognized. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to Openlands. I'd also like to thank the staff, led by Jerry Edelman, for your dedication to your work in our region. Please stand. And finally, I'd like to extend a very special thanks to our sponsors. These donors have made a commitment to our work through a generous contribution to today's event.
Thank you to our gold sponsors, BMO Harris Bank, Christy Weber Landscapes, the Corwith Fund, Nancy Hamill Winter, Liberty Prairie Foundation, Living Habitats, Harold M. and Adeline S. Morrison Family Foundation, People's Gas, Barbara and Glenn Reed, Ella D. and Richard P. Struble, Ventus. Thank you to our platinum sponsors, ArcelorMittal, Bobolink Foundation, Connie and Tony Bischoff, Sean and Andy Block, ComEd, Janine and Andrew McNally IV, Stantec Consulting Services Incorporated. Thank you to our Emerald sponsors, the Comer Family Foundation, the Nagani Foundation.
Let's have a round of applause. Next, I'm delighted to introduce a very special guest whose many years of engagement in making the world better include significant roles in the public, nonprofit, and foundation sectors. For nearly 5 years, she has served as president of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. She is here today to share some great news. Please join me in welcoming Julia Stasch.
So thank you very much. Of course, you're saying, what is she here to share? And what I want to share with you is some news that we're very proud of. So we are really pleased to announce today a $1 million grant to the Openlands Forestry Program. So, thank you. But let me put that in a little bit of context. We just got a major wake-up call in the form of the report from the UN that business as usual will push us over the edge of climate change crisis in less than 2 decades. So CEO of Exelon, Chris Crane, and I just authored an op-ed for Time magazine that said it's time for the business community, our government, and fellow citizens to stop arguing about whether we have a problem and who caused it, and move forward with a pragmatic dialogue to solve it. So environmentalists in the energy industry have different views of the best way to cut emissions. But of course, we also support reducing demand and using low-carbon energy sources. But it is our position that all possible approaches need to be employed, including some things that are not usually embraced by environmentalists, like carbon capture storage and not letting go of the nuclear generation fleet. But one thing we can all agree on as essential in the fight to keep the planet habitable is the role of trees. Planting trees and conserving forests. Now, of course, you all know that planting trees has incredible leverage. You know the benefits in air quality and energy efficiency and reducing the heat island effect, increasing property values, positive health outcomes, and more. We can't afford not to pay attention to this asset, to protect, nurture, and grow it. That's what Openlands does, and that's why we urge and challenge other individuals, businesses, and institutions to join us and Openlands to support this essential tool in the battle against climate change and in the quest for a better life for everyone in every community. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic, Julia. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone at Openlands. Please enjoy your lunch. We'll be back in about 20 minutes with remarks from Openlands President and CEO Jerry Adelman, the presentation of the Conservation Leadership Award, and today's keynote address. Thanks again for joining us.